Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the third edition of our Lunch and Learn sessions with Osome, and sponsored in collaboration with Hammersmith and Fulham Council, and of course supported by West London Business. Today we've got Alexey, who is a managing director of Osome, and he's going to talk to you all about e-commerce made easy. So I will hand over to Alexey. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, and hello, everyone, and welcome to the third webinar in our series with Hammersmith Council. And thanks, Michael, for opportunity that you gave us to educate people, to give more information about how to start their businesses, how to run their businesses. It's one of our mission is to make sure that we help out as many entrepreneurs as possible. And today's webinar will be less technical compared to the previous two, which were focusing on the financing part of the business. Today's webinar will be more around strategic choices that e-commerce businesses have when they want to grow their businesses. So that's I'd like to think about this webinar as a strategic workshop where we will tell you the trends that we see happening in the industry, and then you will have more information to then craft a better strategy for your business. Today we'll go through, I'll give you a little bit of information about who we are and why would you listen to us or trust us. Then we will go through the key trends in the e-commerce space that we see at the moment. Then at the end, we will have some time for Q&A session to go through your questions. In terms of who we are, Osome is the accounting bookkeeping service that helps e-commerce businesses to basically run their financial back office much more efficiently. We focus on the e-commerce businesses. We have our e-commerce accounting experts who are working with the e-commerce businesses, and we also build our own products to help the e-commerce businesses with their financial back office. And 75% of our UK customers are in the e-commerce space, so we know a thing or two about the industry and where it is going. So let me just make sure that you were able to see the screen. Yeah, looks like everything's right. So obviously over the last 12 months, what we saw is something extraordinary happening to the e-commerce space. Obviously, you heard all the statements about 3 years in 4 months, etc. And it's been really extraordinary. And the lockdown forced us to create more products for the e-commerce space, and hence we are currently focusing more and more on the e-commerce businesses, because the e-commerce was one of the industries that's been growing over the lockdown, and we at Osome wanted to basically take this opportunity to help out the e-commerce businesses to start up and run their business. The three trends that we wanted to discuss today is the social e-commerce, marketplaces, and emerging markets. So it's basically one of those things that we a lot of our clients are thinking about when they are thinking about how do I grow my business, how do I develop next, where do I sell, what channels do I use, and we thought that it would make sense to basically zoom in to each of them and see what's happening there in terms of those trends, where the industry is going into, and what each of you can do to basically incorporate those trends into the strategy of your own business. So first, and like I think one of the most interesting ones is the social e-commerce. So as you probably know, social media is like huge part of the time spent online by all the consumers in pretty much all the countries, US, UK, and what we see is more and more of the e-commerce will be moving into the social media. And one good example of this happening is in China, where there are quite a few of the social media platforms that's been created with the e-commerce in mind. So this is, for example, what it may look like down the road for the UK social media as well, right? So this one on the left was usual e-commerce store, and this one is where all the influencers basically in TikTok style, they are presenting some products. You can watch the video, you can read the description about the product, and you can add to your basket while you are watching video. Very, very kind of TikTok like mechanics, and that's what basically is rising at the moment in China, and we see that a lot of similar stuff will be happening in Europe and in the US as well, right? One of those things that you probably heard last year is Shopify entered into the agreement with TikTok. And so there are going to be more and more integration in there. And yeah, basically, if you look at the first lockdown 2020, already 20% of the purchases were made on social media in the UK, and 45% of surveyed UK customers said that they would buy products from Instagram or Facebook, while guess what? Only 41% of, only 24% of the UK businesses were actually selling products on the social media. And here, like the way to think about it is like you want to follow your customers, right? So, and if you go through the traditional marketing funnel where you kind of attract customers, engage customers, and convert customers, in each of those steps of the funnel, social media will be playing bigger and bigger role, right? The first one in the attract stage, social media basically is where, as I said, people spending a lot of money in, and that's where a lot of product discovery is happening now, right? So people are looking at the influencers, people are looking at what they are like wearing, what they are selling, what they are promoting, and that's how they discover the product. And just basically going down the line through this funnel, you will see that in each of the stage of the funnel, social media play bigger roles in there. One interesting news from last week is that Shopify allowed now their Shopify payment gateway to be used in Facebook stores, in Google stores. So even if you don't have the Shopify store of your own, you can still like sign up for their payment gateway and use it in Facebook and Google stores. Another sign of social media e-commerce being more and more important. So here, what you can do, two things. The first one is, yes, follow your customer. Basically, what, depending on what you are selling, your customer can spend time one way or another. So make sure that you are ahead of the game. You are following the customers, and you are promoting and selling in the places where your customers are. And the second part, with this trend coming on top, the influencers will basically play bigger and bigger role. And we are not only talking about the huge big influencers. There are a lot of the micro influencers where people would have actually more trust in them, and they will more likely to buy from them. So here, one of the things to think about is to craft the strategy on the influencers, like who you want to target, and like who is the best position to promote your goods and services, and like how to go forward about that. All right, the next one is marketplaces, right? So obviously, when you nowadays decide to launch your online store, you have like plenty of options to do it. And one of the biggest decisions that you make is, okay, do I want to go into the marketplaces, or do I want to build my own online store? Not saying that like there is like you can also do both, right? You can be on Amazon and on with your own Shopify store, and that's like one of the things that we also see a lot of our customers are doing. Obviously, marketplaces are already by far the leaders in the e-commerce space in the UK, and it looks like that going forward, their position will be more and more important. And here is why. 49% of online shoppers start their searches on Amazon. So it's the US data, but still, like it is representative to the other countries as well, right? So just like think about it, half of the shoppers don't Google for whatever they are like looking to buy, but they just go straight to Amazon and they search for those goods on Amazon. Now, guess what? If you have your own Shopify store and you are not listed on Amazon, then like half of the people probably would not be able to find you there. And that's like one of the things that you should keep in mind when you decide whether or not you want to sell in the marketplaces. Obviously, there are at least two big risks that not risks, but like other things that you should consider while you want to start selling on marketplaces. First, obviously, the commissions are much higher compared to your own website. For example, Amazon charges, as far as I remember, from 8 to 16% of the fees if you are selling via them, plus all the additional charges, plus premium accounts and all this stuff. Obviously, like selling through your own website will be cheap in this sense, but again, like if you want to follow your customers, that's one of the things that you definitely need to think about. And another thing, you've probably heard that Amazon is launching more and more categories under their own name of Amazon Basics. That's obviously another threat that successful merchants would have if they're selling Amazon, because Amazon is obviously looks like they are looking at the categories that are selling successfully, and they are launching their own private brands like Amazon Basics to be sold on this category. So the competition is much more difficult. And another thing to consider when you are moving into the multi-channel, and that's where Osome also can help out a little bit, is while you increase the number of channels you are selling in, you also increase dramatically the amount of paperwork that needs to be done to consolidate basically all the sales data, all the inventory data from different channels that you are using into like one accounting system that you are using. Here again, we can help you out with all the bookkeeping and data consolidation needs, all the way up to accounting and tax filing. Then the third trend that we want to talk about today is emerging markets. So basically, obviously, you start selling in the UK, as most of our customers do. And then at some point you see that, all right, it's going well, I probably want to grow my business even more, but it looks like that I hit the limit of the growth rate in the UK, and hey, like probably I would like to sell somewhere outside of the UK. And first geographies that come to mind for most of the sellers are either Europe or the US. And one of the things that usually goes overlooked is the emerging markets. So in 2022, it is projected that 20% of all the retail sellers will be done on emerging markets. And we see that with the increase in income in those countries, usually the share of the e-commerce retail compared to total retail sales also increases, right? So that's why the more richer economies we see, the higher number of online retail will be there, and hence like there are more and more opportunities to start selling somewhere else other than Europe and the US. A few things to keep in mind and consider when you are considering moving into the emerging markets. The first one, it's not just Amazon there, right? There are a lot of local marketplaces that support the online sellers, that support the e-commerce industry in emerging markets, right? If you take Russia, it's going to be Osome and Wildberries. If you take Mexico, it's going to be Mercado, if I remember. So there are a lot of the local marketplaces that you'd need to study if you would wish to sell in those countries. Second thing is you need to really think through the logistics, right? So the thing that appeared easy and straightforward in the UK, especially if you produce your goods in the UK, maybe not that straightforward if you send the goods somewhere into the emerging markets. Europe here is a good example, like Europe, where like most of the relationships, most of the logistics had been set up for a long time. Now with Brexit coming in, with the new VAT rules in Europe, we see that a lot of our clients are requesting more guidance in terms of how to continue to sell in Europe, and that's like one of the things that are stopping them from selling there. Now imagine that you are now talking about the countries where it's the logistics between the UK or between China and those countries is not that good as the logistics between the UK and Europe. Hence, like all the difficulties that you probably will face should you decide to sell there. So think through the logistics as well, because this is one of the things that's may be a roadblocker for a few of the online sellers. And then the third one is make sure that you understand how the payment system work in those countries. Like, what is the best way to collect the payments in there, if the PayPal is there, if Stripe working is there, and like, will you be able to move the money between the country you're selling and your home country, and what would be basically the logistics in there, because it also will affect your economics. So those are key things that we wanted to talk to you about today. Just to recap a few of them, on the social media side, they will definitely be more and more important. So think about if you want to be there, and what will be your strategy there, what would be your influencer strategy there, if any, and like how basically you want to be engaged in those activities. In terms of the marketplaces, think about if you want to be there again. Half of the people start their search for online shopping on Amazon. So definitely one of the things to consider is whether or not you want to be on those marketplaces instead of or in addition to your own store. Third one, emerging markets is definitely one of the things that usually is overlooked, but worth considering. And obviously, the basis of that, while you are thinking about all of those strategic decisions, you need to understand very, very, very well what is the economics of your business, right? You need to understand and to calculate correctly what would be the profit and loss should you do this decision, or should you do that decision. You need to understand what is the total cost of goods sold for each of your products being sent through each of the channels to each of the geographies you are selling. To do that, obviously, you need to have a proper accounting and bookkeeping basis, so that like you are sure that when you are making those decisions, you are making it based on the real numbers. Obviously, guess what? We can help you out with this. We are e-commerce sellers. We are one of the industry leaders in this space, and like we will be happy to help you out to not only do your compliance part, where we do the accounting and tax filing, but also we will help you out to make better decisions to grow your business quicker. With the council, we agreed to provide you with 1 month of free trial. If you want to sign up for our services, you will get 1 month for free. Send us an email or just go onto our website and claim your offer there. And we will also continue our series of our webinars with Hammersmith and Fulham Council, and the next one is going to be June 29th, and that's going to be the deep dive into the e-commerce sellers. We've touched a little bit on that today, but the next one is going to be a deep dive discussion in terms of like how, like what does it look like to sell on different marketplaces, what are pros and cons, what things to be aware of, like how to calculate correctly what's going to be the your profit and loss statement for a business should you sell on those marketplaces. So please also register. I'm pretty sure that you will receive another email about the upcoming webinars as well. Thanks a lot. That was it for today. And now let me see if there are any questions. Yeah. Okay. So Michael is asking if I can expand on social media micro-influencers. Yeah, just a couple of words. What's happening on social media? Obviously, there are a lot of the influencers out there with starting from like millions subscribers and all the way down to like 100 subscribers. One of the things that people are doing when they first approach the influencer strategy is they try to come after the biggest influencers in their space. Obviously, the biggest influencers, like there are a few problems with them. They want a lot of money, and like you should really think through the economics of your business when you are engaging with them. But then be a big audience not necessarily doesn't necessarily mean the most engaged audience and most like trustworthy audience. So one of the things, especially if you are a small business and you're just starting, is try to find the micro influencers in your space. So don't go after the biggest names in your category, but try to search. And there are like tools out there that allow you to do the search on Instagram and on TikTok by like hashtags or by topics. Try to search for like small influencers. And there are various advantages of going after micro influencers. The first one, they might not work with a lot of brands already, and if you are selling something, you might as well be one of the products they promote, which obviously create like the unique opportunity for you to speak directly to your audience and to be promoted directly to your audience. But then second advantage is that in a lot of the cases, their audiences is much more engaged compared to big, like, multi-million subscriber influencers, right? So like they still have this dialogue with I don't know, like several thousands of their subscribers maybe. So the level of trust that they have between themselves and their audience is higher, and hence like there is opportunity to promotional campaigns to work better in this space. I hope this answers. Adekoya is asking, do you offer free advice on how to drive traffic? I will launch a pet product store aim in the US market. Unfortunately, no, we are not the marketing agency. We can definitely help you out with all of the admin setup in the US. Like, should we go into the US, and like if you are one of Osome client, we will definitely help you out to tell, okay, how to register, like what type of companies do you need, like how to what are the admin intricacies in terms of running your business in there, what taxes do you need to pay, like how to pay them, etc. But unfortunately, traffic is not our specialization. And Laura Latham's asking, where can we compare the best marketplaces for given regions? I think Gul on the next webinar will touch a little bit upon that question. So I'd ask you to come over next week, and hopefully you will get more detailed answer on that. Yeah, and I see that Michael is answering some of the questions about traffic, for example. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Council, Hammersmith and Fulham Council have a few of the consultants that they can introduce you to, who will cover various other aspects of your business. And again, if you are unsure about any compliance or financial back office, then come over to us. We will be happy to help. Okay, looks like that is it. If there are no other questions.
Sorry, Alex. Hi, Alex. You missed one from, I think, from Laurie. Can we compare the best marketplaces for the given regions? I'm not sure if we covered that one.
Oh, no, I said that our next webinar will be the in-depth about the marketplaces. So like hopefully it's better place there to, if Laura can come back next week, then we're gonna have the deep dive.
Yeah, I think she's booked already.
Good.
Any more questions, guys? Don't seem like there's any more.
Oh, I just noticed that, yes, Sophie said there is another one. Babak is asking what is the main alternatives to Shopify? There are a lot of alternatives to Shopify if you are talking about the basically the system that allows you to build your own store. Like there is like Ecwid, there's WooCommerce, there is BigCommerce, there is PrestaShop. There are a lot of them out there actually. But Shopify is like holding 10% of the US market. So if you are thinking about creating the experience that will be familiar to the most consumers, that then like obviously Shopify is maybe one of the best choice.
Yeah, can I just add to that, Alexey? We might be looking at getting our own local marketplace as well. It's something they are looking at. So if you just keep watching the Enterprise Club, I can give you more detail if and when that happens. But it's something we're looking at. All depends on funding, of course. Cheers.
Definitely. I guess we've covered everything. Unless you have any questions, Michael?
None from me. This is pretty eye-opening, actually. There's some bits in there that I didn't actually realize. I mean, you're saying 76% of businesses are missing out on potential customers because they're not engaged with social media. That's an eye-opener. I mean, that's unbelievable. That's a lot of business going away.
I was surprised myself because like you think you have a sense that everyone is talking about like TikTok, everyone is talking about social media, right? And it's like it's out there, but apparently, yeah, not a lot of the businesses are engaging in those activities. I guess let's wrap it up then. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak today, and I hope we've provided some of the useful information to small business owners on this webinar. And yeah, thanks for joining, everyone.